So that tattoo is drawn on with Sharpie. Hey y'all, SnarkyJay Cosplay here. You might be wondering why I'm recording on a phone and all gussied up with nowhere to go. Well, actually, babies and gentlemen, we do have somewhere to go today. I'm about to take off for Megacon Orlando. Last year, I literally was only there on Friday, and then I got the flu and I had to leave, so I didn't get to do any of the con at all, pretty much. But this year, we're gonna make up for it, so I'm about to take off. I've got all my stuff packed up already. I'm debuting 2 brand new cosplays, so I'm about ready to take y'all with me on this Megacon journey. And before we get this show on the road, I do want to give a special shout out. I'm going to be shouting them out pretty much this entire time to CMI Toys, my buddy Edwin, and all the others that work with him. They are hosting me this weekend, which is the only way I would have a table at Megacon. Super, super grateful for them. I'm so excited to see how this goes. Hopefully I get to meet plenty of you. So let's go. And with that, we set off for Megacon Orlando. Before long, we were pulling up to the Orange County Convention Center, where I needed to pick up badges for the weekend and drop off all my gear for the next couple of days. Finally, in the hotel room, there is no parking anywhere, so it took me 3 trips just to take this wig head, my absolute Wonder Woman armor, my bag of regular clothes, my purse to match my Lady Deadpool cosplay, my clothes for Clive, my sword for Clive, my armor for Clive, and my Lady Deadpool cosplay, and Wonder Woman's sword, which is totally not just Cloud's Buster sword. But we made it, and we dropped everything off at the tables, so tomorrow should be a good day. And despite the fact that I'm including you guys in my video, I actually have to pee really freaking bad. So once we pee, it's gonna be time to go get something to eat, because I haven't eaten since like 7 a.m. Besides that cookie that they give you on check-in. Oh my god, those cookies are ridiculous. But let's go. I'm not taking you with me to pee, but I will take you with me to dinner. I can't even begin to describe how stoked I am, so we're gonna go grab something to eat first because I am fucking dying. And then when we're done, I gotta come back here and slip into Lady Deadpool because we're gonna go to Universal tonight, which should be an absolute blast. I am so thrilled. But before dinner, I did the smart thing and organized all my weaponry. Thankfully, all the armor made it here in one piece. I made all of this over like 3 or 4 days this week, because that's the name of the game, folks. You get obsessed enough with a random video game and a random video game character. And so essentially you change your entire convention plans, and in 3 to 4 days, you make a cosplay of him so that you can commemorate him, because if you can't kiss him, you might as well be him. And of course we have Lady Pool, but that's gonna be for tonight. Momentary interruption to show you guys this adorable squirrel. Dinner tonight is at Saltgrass Steakhouse. I've been here a couple of times, and to be completely honest, it's basically just Longhorn, but a little more upscale. And similar to Longhorn and my favorite Outback Steakhouse, this place tends to be pretty hit or miss, but to be honest, I feel like the food could have sucked and I still would have thought it was delicious. I was just so hungry at this point that I can't really say that I cared. I just wanted to eat. After dinner, obviously, the smart thing is to slip into a skin-tight red gimp suit so that I could be Deadpool to go to Universal Orlando. This was an exclusive event for Megacon attendees, and since my dad and I don't really go to theme parks much together, I thought it was a must-do. Spirits were definitely high on the way. Once we'd parked, we gotta move on, and as you can see, I think my dad and I have a tendency to be absolute fucking dorks regardless of what we're doing, so if we happen to be at a theme park, it just seems to make all the more sense. It was pretty crowded as we got in, because everybody seemed to be leaving at the exact same time. It was kind of giving zombie apocalypse vibes, but before I knew it, I was seeing the Lighthouse of Islands of Adventure, and we were walking in with no sweat, which didn't really apply to the rest of the night because the suit got warm very quickly. We started our night in Marvel Superhero Island, which is probably my favorite area in the entirety of Universal. It definitely feels like it's stuck in the 90s, but I was super happy to see both Doctor Doom and the Green Goblin, of course Wolverine, my honey, but our very first ride of the night was The Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man. This to me is probably one of my favorite rides in the entire park, just because even though it's kind of an older ride, it really holds up. And something about riding the Spider-Man ride while dressed as Deadpool just felt so appropriate.
Hello? This is Jonah Jameson. Roger, over. Is this thing on? Listen, Scope.
You shouldn't be out here. Talk on the loose. This could be the most dangerous night of my life. And yours.
After the Spider-Man ride, we continued on our trek and ended up on the King Kong ride, which actually spent most of the time glitching and was probably one of the worst experiences ever. The line was pretty cool except for this thing. Ew. But to be totally honest, if you have to wait in line for this at all, I'd recommend just going and doing something else. King Kong time is over, and now we're moving on to Harry Potter World or Land, whatever they call it. This area of the theme park is the only reason I ever read the Harry Potter books. We waited for the Hogwarts Express to take us over to Universal, as opposed to having to walk out. Thankfully, the train didn't take too long. Finally got my Hogwarts acceptance letter. See how I get kicked out. When we arrived in Universal, I was bummed to find that the area that the Simpsons and Men in Black rides were closed, so we made for Fast and Furious. I'm not a fan of this franchise at all, neither is my dad, but I figured we were already here and the line was pretty cool. Welcome to my garage. This is actually my garage. Ignore all the chains and the signs of any other brand. My RX-7, right over here we have my Ford Escort. Freak the fuck out, rally, got it cleared out with the racing bucket seats. Now, we gotta go, let's go. Let's go do this. Family, it's all about family and a franchise that never ends because Vin Diesel has death. Based on the cheesy ass pre-ride show, I didn't know what to expect from this one. Again, I'm not a Fast and Furious fan at all. I barely even remember most of these people's names. Hobbs is the Rock. A couple of fucking jabronis, but both of them. But this ride, even though it's the Fast and Furious, you're essentially just on a party bus, not racing or doing anything cool. And there was so much water on this ride for no fucking reason that by the end of it, I was just wondering why I was even here. Now, by this time of night, I was definitely craving a sweet little treat, so we stopped into Richter's and I got some dibs. They don't sell them at my local grocery store anymore, and these were my favorites growing up. You already know how I feel about Transformers, namely how I feel about our Lord and Savior Optimus Prime. I was so stoked to go on Transformers. It's kind of a reskin of the Spider-Man ride, but Transformers themed, which means it's one of my favorite things in the world. We went on it literally twice, and the second time we were in front, so I was that much closer to Optimus Prime and that much closer to giving Megatron the bird on the way out. But this time the park was really quiet, so we ended the night by making a trip to the Despicable Me gift shop where I found this adorable unicorn. He did not come home with me, obviously, but it was a long day, so it was time to head back. Good morning, babies and gentlemen. So it is officially day 1 of Megacon for me. Technically, it's day 3 of Megacon for everybody else because it's Saturday. Please ignore my unzipped gauntlet. My dad went to go move the car and I cannot zip this by myself. Today, I am debuting my Clive Rosfield cosplay. If you're unfamiliar with this character, don't worry about it. I don't think anybody else gives a shit about this guy either, but he's the protagonist from Final Fantasy 16, and y'all know that I'm obsessive as fuck. So I just finished this game like a week and a half ago, and I had a week to do this, and I ended up having to retailor the whole vest because it was not made to fit me at all. Imagine it was a men's small. And I basically tailored the cape and I made all my armor. I'll end up with more videos of the armor later so you guys can see it. But like I said, we're being hosted by CMI Toys today. They're the only reasons I have a table because I applied to Megacon this year and they said no. I feel really good about my cosplay. This is a lot more comfortable than I expected it to be. So hopefully it's a good day. We got calendars, we got prints, we got everything. So cross your fingers that this is a good day. I can't cross my fingers because I'm wearing these, but you get my point. The shuttle to Megacon kind of took forever, but before long, I was already on the escalator heading up, and it really seemed like the day had already started because there wasn't really a long line parked outside, probably because I got in at noon, but I just couldn't be bothered to wake up any earlier. I am so sorry. Upon arrival, it really did feel like we were about to enter the adventure, like everything was about to begin. People were buzzing around, and I couldn't imagine what awaited me on the con floor, but I'd have to wait even longer because I had to go through prop check and there was a long ass line. And once I got thoroughly searched by security, which is fine, we started our day at my table. And let me tell you, it was non-stop all day. I only have so much video because we were actually in a pretty crowded spot, but I got to see so many people, so many kind souls who came by to say hi. Not only that, but I also finally met in person one of my favorite people on the planet, the Critical Drinker. I've been on open bar with him and the crew a few times, and I was so happy to finally meet him in person. But every interaction, every photo I took on Saturday was so pleasant. Everybody was so sweet, and honestly, it made for probably one of the best con days I've ever had. This, to me, is what this is all about. It's not an exercise in clout chasing. It's an exercise in meeting and making new friends and talking to the people who support me, because it honestly means the world to me. It has been a long ass con day, but what a blast. Time to get ready right now so that we can go to Medieval Times and have dinner, because I haven't eaten all fucking day except for yogurt this morning and mama's hangry. Because my hair under this wig is undoubtedly a mess, I'm going out like this. Let's go to Medieval Times. We set out for Medieval Times, which from the resort area that we're in is kind of like a half-hour drive. I always forget how far Medieval Times is from like Disney World and stuff. But if you're ever in Orlando or one of the places where they have another Medieval Times castle, I totally recommend this place. I go every time I'm in the area and it's always worth it. The theming is brilliant, the performers are always so passionate, and the food is amazing. This time we're seated in the VIP section because we decided to treat ourselves. I've never done this, and to be honest, I now don't want to go back unless I'm in VIP. Well, I feel like a very important person right now.
Is that your beard?
I was having way too much fun with my flag, but by then we got the first course of this meal, which is a blazing hot tomato soup. It's good soup. And I'm gonna be real with you folks, I got no other footage of the food because I got too lost in the plot on the show. The Red Knight was absolutely gorgeous, and that's who we were cheering for tonight. We were treated to some awesome horse performances, which as somebody who's always wanted to learn to ride horses, I really enjoyed. And the food, which I did not bother to record aside from our empty plates, was absolutely spectacular. It was a lot, but hey, I was hungry.
Hey, Pat. So I didn't catch him.
Needless to say, I get very into Medieval Times, but the absolute best part of the whole show is when the joust starts. The joust pretty much starts with these guys ramming wooden lances into each other and seeing which one breaks and which one wins. And once they've made 3 passes, both knights will dismount and take on the fight on foot. We were so lucky this time because not only were we in the VIP section, but our knight actually won the whole thing, which is pretty rare for me. I've never had that happen. So after the show, we waited for the knights to come out and greet everybody, and I knew that I had to get a picture with the Red Knight because this was absolutely insane. What a show. He was such a great fighter. So leaving Medieval Times, not only did we have a great time, but I got this flower that I did not catch, and he looked at me like I was an idiot. Correct, I was not built for sport, I was built for comfort. Anyway, I also had my cheering banner, and we got our little souvenir pics. If I could open it. It's me and my pops, isn't that cute? Put it on my mantle, even though it looks nothing like me because I'm in a full face of makeup with a face tattoo and a wig. Good times were had at Medieval Times. And now I must joust. After Medieval Times, it was time to head back to the hotel. Phenomenal jam sessions, obviously, were had. I was just happy to have 2 more cookies from the lobby. Y'all, what a day. Honestly, that was probably one of the best con days I've ever had, just because so many people came by, and to me, that's kind of like the whole purpose of doing these things. It was a great day, and I'm so spent. Anyway, I think it's time I take a shower and call it a night because I am sleepy, so I'll see y'all in the morning. Good morning from Absolute Wonder Woman. I am so stoked to be debuting this. You might be wondering why there is a tissue paper under my arm, and that's because I had to go to CVS last night to buy Sharpies because I didn't bring body paint or red eyeliner. So that tattoo is drawn on with Sharpie, and it's currently trying to bleed through to the rest of my arms. We'll just try to get the excess off, but I didn't want to not have any part of the tattoo at all. Should be a pretty good day. Again, I'm so excited to be wearing this because she's on all the bags. I had no clue. She's on all the advertising. So also this looks fucking fantastic. I commissioned this. I feel like a badass and I feel pretty, which is a rare combo. Let's head out. We headed out for our second day of Megacon and essentially took the long ass journey from where our hotel room was all the way to the front to catch the shuttle. We waited maybe 15 minutes for the shuttle, which wasn't too long, and before long I was making my way downtown, or rather making my way into the convention center. Even though it did look pretty busy, it was actually a lot quieter than Saturday, at least in the getting in process. But as you can see by the con floor, there was quite a bit of movement. I got stopped for photos on the way to the the table. And once I got to the table, it was another similarly busy day of wonderful people coming by, buying prints, buying calendars, chatting with me. It was absolutely awesome. I was just so happy, and I honestly felt so vindicated, like what I do here might actually mean something because so many people came by to say hi to me. I don't know if that makes sense, but it always feels good to know that anybody is listening at all. A few hours into Sunday, I did not get any video of this because I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed and I can't always remember to vlog and do things and be a person at the same time, unfortunately. But as some of you know, I made an appearance on one of the GOAT channels on YouTube, Star Wars Theory. We've been friends since then, but I had never been able to actually meet him in person. We actually did finally get to meet in person, which was really cool. So I got to meet two of my favorite people to work with and favorite people in general. Because the con floor closes at 5 on the last day, by 4:50 I was already packed up and heading out. And to be honest, even though it was a great 2 days, I was actually really tired already. So heading up the escalator and finding my dad waiting for me felt like just the way to end the weekend. Why is there such a line to get out of here? What the fuck? This is LineCon indeed. My goodness, I just want to go home at this point. And clearly my dad does too.
Stuck on this damn shuttle, going nowhere on account of the fact that we have to go to a different hotel to drop people off, but there's a bunch of traffic because everybody's trying to make Megacon at the same time. I hate it here.
I think my favorite souvenir, besides all the gifts I was brought, is the huge welt left in my head from my Wonder Woman headband. I don't know why that happened, but it literally still hurts even the day after. But pain aside, it was a great weekend, and I'm so ready to get home. And now that I'm home, I wanted to show off some of the wonderful gifts that I was brought at my table. This gorgeous crow figure, this adorable little Wolverine. I also got this super cool print. I want to show you guys that it actually cycles through all 3 Spider-Men. So we've got Tom Holland, Andrew Garfield, and of course the GOAT, Tobey Maguire. My good friend Rachel also brought me this exclusive Eric Draven. And then my friends at CMI Toys actually made this Star Wars Black Series Acolyte inspired figure, but it's actually all like about me, SnarkyJay cosplay version. This packaging, everything was so cool. I love this so much. I also got this gorgeous vinyl Eric Draven. And of course, Clive. Oh my god, this was brought to me on Saturday and I almost cried. I really have tried to keep the nerdy stuff out of my bedroom, but I have a black and white Eric Draven in there, so I might frame Clive and put him in there. But wow, oh my god, you guys are so awesome. Now that I'm back home and I've had some time to process, let's talk a little bit more about Megacon. Okay, I see what you're looking at. Yeah, the red smears on my arm are in fact the Sharpie tattoo for Absolute Wonder Woman. It didn't come off in the shower yesterday, so maybe in the next 3 days it'll be gone, but for right now I'm just gonna live with it. Megacon for years has been one of my favorites, if not my favorite convention that I get to go to. But to be completely honest, that place was so fucking crowded and the service was so terrible all weekend that had I not been parked at a table, I probably wouldn't have enjoyed it. I really hate walking around in crowds. That drives me nuts. But again, the beauty of being at a table is that it's a place where I can interact with people, and that's what I really like to do. For me, when it comes to conventions, what I want to do is meet with people, is speak with people. That to me is all the joy in the world, and I had so many people come by. I met so many wonderful people who told me in one way or another, I watch your videos, I like your stuff, your cosplay is great. People that you really have like a relationship with through content and shared experiences and nerd culture, and that makes me so fucking happy. For that reason, I would say that Megacon 2025 is probably the best convention I've ever had, purely because it was basically non-stop interaction with really wonderful people all day, every day for 2 days straight, and I am just so grateful for having had that experience. And I also, again, want to shout out my friends Edwin, Jack, Art, Manny, everybody over at CMI Toys. They are the nicest people in the world. They sell some really cool vintage, like G.I. Joe and Transformers and all that kind of shit. You should check them out for sure. But they hosted me this weekend. They gave me a piece of their booth. They made me feel like family, and I am so grateful for that. It was such an awesome time. I will say, after Megacon, not everything is perfect. My feet still really hurt. My shoulder hurts really bad from carrying around swords all weekend. I have rubbed a really strange blister into the side of each of my feet from both of the shoes that I wore. I have a bunch of repairs to make for Clive for the Renaissance Fair. And again, I still have this murder scene inscribed on my arm because it won't fucking come off with soap. And the other fun thing, I don't know if the camera is picking it up right now, but that welt that I showed you guys is still very much here. I just tried to cover it with makeup because I didn't want to look like a unicorn, but my forehead still fucking hurts just to touch it. So the day after the convention, I am beat to shit, but my god, I wouldn't change it for the world. Megacon was so wonderful. To each and every one of you that came out and came to see me, thank you so much. I hope to come out to more conventions and meet more of you soon. What a blast. I hope you guys enjoyed this vlog. I really wanted to kind of include you on every part of the trip. I think that that's a lot more fun than just like, hey, look at me at a table. I wanted you guys to feel like you came with me, because if I could, I'd bring each and every one of you with me to every convention, and we could all talk shit and enjoy it together. And hopefully I can do way more events, way more conventions, and meet way more of you throughout the year. And that's all from me. I've been SnarkyJay. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. For more SnarkyJay, be sure to check me out on Instagram, and if you'd like to support me, this channel, and my content creation, do check out and consider subscribing to my Patreon for exclusive photo shoot sets and cosplay content. I'll add links to all of those in the description below, and let me know your thoughts on this Megacon 2025 vlog in the comments below.